So, thank you everyone for coming to this, the library's 9th book talk. We are very pleased and privileged to have Professor Liu Dixang here to tell us a bit about the book that he edited. It's called Intangible Cultural Heritage and Local Communities in East Asia. In addition to editing it, he is also a contributor to it. This book is also triply an HKUST book. In addition to the fact that Professor Liu edited it, it was also published by HKUST's South China Research Center, and also other faculty members also contributed to the book as well. Now a little bit about Professor Liu. He's been a faculty member here since 1993, so next year he'll be able to have his Long Service Award. Congratulations. He received his Bachelor of Social Science in Anthropology and a Diploma of Education from the Chinese University, and his PhD from the University of Pittsburgh. He is a cultural anthropologist, and he specializes in South China and the Hong Kong region. In addition to his duties as Associate Professor in the Division of Humanities here, he's also the Director of the South China Research Center. And this center was commissioned by the Leisure and Cultural Services Department to conduct a territory-wide survey of intangible cultural heritage in Hong Kong. He is also the director of the Pan-Pearl River Delta Research Station at HKUST's Fokington Graduate School in Nansha. So please now join me in welcoming Professor Liu.
Good afternoon. Thanks for coming to my talk. Since I have a soft voice that if you cannot hear me, please stop me anytime, so then I would repeat what I've said. And it's a great honor for me today to talk about this Intangible Cultural Heritage book here. When I teach, usually that I teach in a classroom. So that means the classroom has 4 walls. But here that I do not feel that I have another wall here. It's quite a challenge to give a talk in this kind of setting. So let's go back to about Hong Kong's intangible cultural heritage. So probably you may not know what is intangible cultural heritage. I will talk about it in a few seconds. And in a short form that we call it ICH, okay? That stands for Intangible Cultural Heritage. In 2003, the UN proposed the Convention for Safeguarding the ICH in the world. So that is the convention, and 2006, the convention enters into force. And China was one of the 30 countries in 2006 signed the convention. So that means China had to carry out things that what the convention suggests to do. And also because Hong Kong is part of China. So we follow what the Chinese government does. But actually that we did not do it right away. So in 2006, that the Beijing government introduced the first national list of ICH. And then in 2008, the second list. And then 2010, the third list. But actually, the third list was not announced in 2010, but 2011, last year. Okay. So the Hong Kong government that did not participate in the 2 exercise, the first 2. So the government in 2009 that proposed 4 items to Beijing government, and it was they were all enlisted as the ICH item and announced last year. So in China, there are several types of lists for ICH items. So one is the national list, and in addition to the national list, there are 34 regional lists. So that means there are also provincial lists and city and county lists. And that also include the Hong Kong and Macau lists. But actually, that Hong Kong today that we do not have a list for the Ice Age items in Hong Kong. And our center that is commissioned by the government to carry out a research, and we are supposed to produce the report in sometime a month or two from today. So we're working very hard on it. But right now, even the government proposed 4 items to Beijing in 2009, but actually we do have an item on the world list, is the Cantonese opera, is the one of the item on the masterpiece of the oral and intangible heritage of humanity. And Cantonese opera was not proposed only by Hong Kong government. It was a joint proposal by Hong Kong, Macau, and Guangzhou, Guangdong. Okay. And in 2006, the Hong Kong government invited us to carry out a small research project to studying how to carry out to research on Ice Age items in Hong Kong. And in 2009, and we were given the contract and to survey the items in Hong Kong. And I just mentioned a while ago that in 2009 that the Hong Kong government proposed 4 items, that the Dragon Boat Parade in Tai O, the Fire Dragon in Tai Hang, and the Fun Festival in Changzhou. If you really have interest in one of these items, I would suggest you go to Changzhou 2 days from today. Okay, the main day of Fun Festival is going to be held on Saturday. Okay, but actually that you can go now, because the festival lasts for 3 to 4 days. So they already carry out some rituals, and those rituals last for 3 days. So that actually that the whole festival ended by the famous struggling for those buns on those bun towers. And of course that this is not part of the local ritual. It is created by the government. So the 4th item is the Yulan Festival, and it's for the ghosts. And today that I am going to talk about 2 items, that the Tai O Dragon Boat Parade and the Tai Hang Fire Dragon Dance. So first let's talk about what is Ice Age. Okay? And Ice Age is intangible cultural heritage, but it's interesting that when it translates into Chinese, it's difficult to translate the term heritage. And in Chinese, the term is 遗产 or 遗产. That means property that passed down by the dead people. Okay, that property inherited called 遗产. So, but in the Hong Kong context, in the last, since the 1970s, the Chinese term for heritage actually was translated into 文物, 文物. Okay, so this is I download from the AMO, that the web page. So when people talk about heritage, actually it's talk about built heritage, about buildings. Okay, so this is the 文物. Okay, so several years ago, the government set up the I forget the term, that the Department of Development, or Department Bureau, okay, is headed by Carrie Lam. So she's very hot these days, especially about things happening in the new territories. Okay, so for this department, when they mention about heritage, it's also about cultural, it's also about 文物, okay, property inherited, passed down by our ancestors. So heritage means 文物 or 文化遗产, okay, is cultural relics. So when we go to the dictionary, when we talk about heritage, that is there are several definitions. Okay, one is about arts and cultural achievements that pass on from earlier generations, or the property inherited by an heir, or is about property left by the deceased, property inherited. So when the Chinese translation translate the heritage into Chinese, and it seems that the property in heritage was the idea that people used. So when we say intangible, that means on the other part, that means there's tangible things. So it's a very simple dichotomized perspective. When we say ISH, that means we have tangible things like this and intangible ideas. That means we cannot see. Okay, so so we can also divide up things into two domains. One is material, and another is non-material. Or we can think of things divided into hardware and software. So there's quite common that for people to, when we talk about ISIX, they will say that it's important for us to preserve the hardware, and then we then work on the softwares. Okay, so it seems people do not link two parts together. Okay, so that means software, since it's nothing related to hardware. So, but for the convention, when we talk about ISIX, I think we need to go back to the UNESCO convention to find out that what it means. Okay, but to me, that I feel the convention adopt a holistic perspective to how to safeguard ISIX. So this is the text that I just copied from the convention. So you can see there are terms about community groups, passed down from generations to generation, a sense of identity and continuity. Okay, it's about people's respect. So here that actually you do not find the term that I talk about, property inherited. Okay, even it mentions about recreate, that people, when people keep the tradition, they pass it on to next generation. People would create new ideas, and they also reinvent things in the process of keeping their own traditions. And this convention also classify ISIX items into 5 categories. One is the oral tradition, performing arts, social practice or festival, knowledge and practice concerning the nature and the universe, or craftsmanship. So basically, there are those 5 categories. When we talk about culture, and in a Chinese term, usually that people would have kind of idea that consider culture as a kind of high culture. It's about civilization. So we would criticize people that we don't like, saying that they don't have culture. Okay, but for social scientists or like anthropology, like we would consider all the cultures are the same. All human beings have their own cultures, and there's no high culture or low culture. So people just, the culture just help people to survive, to adapt to their natural or social environment. So that's how we consider culture. So because I don't have much time, so I just cut away some of these boring academic explanations. Okay, let's go to the Dragon Boat Parade in Tai O. So during the Dragon Boat Festival, that means it's the 5th day of the 5th lunar month, and the fishermen in Tai O, they organize this activity that 3 Dragon Boat associations, they invite, they go to visit 4 major temples in Tai O and carry those traveling deity images onto the small fishing or the small boat, the sampan. They do this the day before the Dragon Boat Festival, that means on the 4th day of the 5th lunar month. And then on the 5th day, they would put the deity images back onto the boat, and they told the boat, they put the deity images on the boat, and then they told the boat around all the water areas. The reason they do this is because that they are ghosts in the water. Okay, so that means people who died in unnatural death. Okay, so when they after they carry out this ritual, they believe that they offer paper offerings, and they give food offerings to the ghosts. And after that, they believed that the ghost would go away and not to create troubles for the local residents. So this is the reason that why they do this every year. So when the Dragon Boat passed the water channel, the residents along the water channel would offer paper offerings to the Dragon Boat and the deity, and the deity is told by the Dragon Boats. So after they parade the water channel, they will send the deities back to the temples and then finish the parade. But one thing I want to share with you is that that is the religious activity. So that I told you the Dragon Boat parade. But actually that on the same day, after they finish the ritual, they would carry out a Dragon Boat race. Okay? So here that you can see people stand up on the Dragon Boat to row the boat. And they believe that they have more strength and they can row fast and win the Dragon Boat race. And I want to tell you that this is not a natural tradition, a local tradition. And they learned this while in the early 80s, they went to Malaysia because they win the Dragon Boat race in Hong Kong, and they were sent to Malaysia representing Hong Kong in the international Dragon Boat race there. And they learned this style and introduced back to Tai O. And also that you will find other fishing village that people use this rowing style to row their dragon boats. Maybe we can invite the UST Dragon Boat to learn this. Maybe we can win more Dragon Boat race. Another issue I would like to raise is why we have a Dragon Boat festival. It's because that we want to commemorate Qu Yuan. And Qu Yuan was a poet who died about 2,300 years ago because he committed suicide because he was not happy about his own country. Okay, so that the reason that why we have a day off on the 5th of the lunar 5th of the 5th lunar month is because of him. But I want to point out is if you go to fishing villages in Hong Kong during the Dragon Boat Festival and ask people who Qu Yuan is, probably no one will tell you that they know who he is. Okay? Because for the local society, the reason that why they carry out Dragon Boat activity is only for the well-being of the local community. Okay? So like the Tai O, they carry out the Dragon Boat parade is because they want to protect their own community. They want to do something for their own community and pacify the wandering ghosts. So that the Qu Yuan is not an idea in local Dragon Boat festival. So why Tai O has this Dragon Boat parade? So we try to look at it from an ecological perspective. So Tai O is right located at the mouth of the Pearl River, so just right in the middle. And actually it's closer to Macau than to central Hong Kong. So if you can swim, and you can reach Macau earlier than get to central, okay? And also this is the area where the fresh water meets the sea water. So when the fresh water meets the sea water, that means this is a good fishing ground. In the past, before the 60s and 70s, this is the area that you can fish a lot of different type of fish. Of course, today there's no fish in the water. And most of the fish we have, expensive seafood right now we have in Hong Kong, are not from Hong Kong water areas, okay, from all over the world. So because here is a fishing ground, so that means Tai O was a fishing village, okay, until the 60s and 70s. Here I want to talk about this fish is yellow croaker, 黃花魚. I wonder you have it or not. Okay, it's delicious. I like it. Okay, so but I wonder that you have tried the fish head before. So if you don't, that I would suggest you next time that when you have 黃花魚, yellow cocker, please eat the fish head or try to get those 2 pieces of auto leaf from the fish head. Okay, and probably we have some biology students here that you know the function of that, a pair of auto leaf. The function is for what? No. Okay. Okay. Actually, I learned it from the fishermen. I learned it not from the biologists. Okay. And the fishermen told me that the yellow cockers, they can create sounds. Okay. They can sing. That's what they say. So when fishermen go out to catch these yellow cockers, in the past, because they have no motor, so just all the fishing boats was driven by wind, so they could hear where the schools of fish are, so that they have experienced fishermen. So they lay down on the bottom of the fishing boat and they try to find out where the sounds come from, and then they go catch the fish. And usually they form a team of 4 to catch the fish. And the fishing season for this fish is from the 15th of the 8th lunar month to the 15th of the 11th lunar month. So those several months is the major fishing season. So people work together, form teams, and they also report their income to their association. Okay, and then they would donate maybe 2 to 3% of their seasonal income to the Dragon Boat Association to organize the festival. Okay, so you can see the logic. So because you donate money to the Dragon Boat Association, and then the Dragon Boat Association would carry out the festival celebration to please the deity. And then the deity will protect you, and then to help you to catch more fish. Okay, so you know how the system works. Okay, so and then the one that who make a lot of income during that fishing season will have to donate a lot, because if you make $1,000, that means you have to donate $2 to $3, $20 to $30. Okay, so the one who donate more would become the head man of the festival. The second one will be the second man of the festival, and then the head man will donate more money, but he has a special position in the parade, and he has the right to carry the traveling deity image from the temple down to the dragon boat. So it's a kind of a social status. So here that I want to show is, it was the situation in the past, how the festival was maintained and organized. It's closely related to the fishing business. But you know that after the 70s that the fishing business gradually went out. And so today that is not the system. So they have to change the system to how to maintain this festival. So the second case is the Tai Hang fire dragon dance. Okay, how many? So we have 20 minutes. Okay, let's finish this case in 15 minutes. So another case is the Tai Hang fire dragon dance. Probably you may not know where Tai Hang is, but you know where Causeway Bay is. Okay, so where you can buy the most expensive items in Hong Kong. Okay, it's also the highly polluted area in Hong Kong. Okay, so this is the Causeway Bay, and this is Tai Hang. Is not far away, about 10 minutes walk you can get there. So I want to show you, this is the aerial photo of Causeway Bay and Tai Hang in 1945. So you can see this is just the newly reclaimed land. Now it's part of the Victoria Park. So in the past, that this Tai Hang village is just next to the water area. So, but right now that you can see there are all just high-rise buildings. So this was the village in the past. And the village was formed by the Hakka speakers from different parts of China. So they came to Hong Kong and they settled here, but all the Hakka speakers, they decided to live together to form their new village. So this was the picture they took about, I think, 6 or 70 years ago. Okay. And the history of the fire dragon, I don't want to spend time on it. And if you go to the web, and they provide you the standard story of how and why they have this fire dragon dance. So that the story was that in the past they find a big snake in their village, and then they kill the snake, and then they carry the snake to the police station, and next morning that the body of snake was disappear, and then a number of young people get sick and die. Okay, and they believe that there was a epidemic, so they need to carry out the fire dragon dance to get rid of those dirty things and bring the place to normal. That was the reason that why they have the Mid-Autumn Festival. Why they have this fire dragon dance. So I wanted to show you is just they create a pretty standardized story to tell you why. But the case in Tai O, they did not, they haven't created that standard story yet. But they are in the process to create that standard story. We talk about later why they created standard story. So this is the sacred fire dragon. So you can see that the two eyes were webbed because that is right before the ritual, because they have to give the dragon life by doing the enlightening ritual. So that the enlightening ritual is conducted in Linfa Gong, the Lotus Temple. It's the temple for the Goddess of Mercy, Guan Yin, in Tai Hang. So it's the ritual they conduct inside the temple. So after they conduct the temple, they carry out, they put the frame of the fire dragon on the street, and then they burn the incense sticks, and then they put all the incense sticks onto the frame of the fire dragon and turn it into a real fire dragon with all those lighting incense sticks. So and then they parade the area of Tai Hang. So what they do is that they parade the fire dragon clockwise, with traveling, visiting all the streets. So for our research, that we will try to write down the route where they visit. So that means this route defined their own community. So they have to visit all the Tai Hang residents. The reason for Fire Dragon Parade is same as the Dragon Boat Parade in Tai O. Because they want to carry out this is to get rid of those dirty things. When they say dirty things, that means the ghosts. And people believe that the ghosts would create problem for them and also bring them disease and epidemic. So every year they have to do it to bring a clean environment to their own community. So after they finish the parade on the third night of the festival, in Tai Hang they carry out the fire dragon dance in 3 evenings. The night before the Mid-Autumn Festival, and then the day after the Mid-Autumn Festival. After they finish the parade, they would throw the whole fire dragon into the water, okay, to symbolize all the dirty things being thrown away. So that means the dirty things would go away with the fire dragon, and then the community will have a new beginning. Of course, that the Hong Kong government would not accept people to throw this fire dragon onto the Victoria Harbour. Okay, so what they do is symbolically they do it, but they actually do it. But after they throw the fire dragon into the water, they hire the fishermen to pick it up, and they would deal with it after they pick up the fire dragon. So the festival I told you was a religious activity, okay, for religious reason, to deal with ghosts, okay. But when I do my research, that I went back to the newspaper. So this is a piece of news clipping in 1937. It's just several months after the I don't know how to translate. It's about the Japanese invasion in Beijing. Okay, So it's just 3 months after the, yeah. Yes, yes, okay. So, and then they play the fire dragon again. The reasons for playing the fire dragon is to raise money for supporting the government to fight the Japanese, okay? So there's another newspaper clipping in 1965, and people saying that the fire dragon contribute a lot because the fire dragon association helped the local community to form their neighborhood associations. Okay, so what I want to point out is when we consider it as a religious activity, actually it has many social and political functions. So it's during the fire dragon dance, and at the front that they have the lantern, okay, and they also have, I just have shown you the enlightening ritual inside the temple, but actually that after the the ritual inside the temple, they have another one outside the temple, and you can see that they have a Let's-Go member that she performed the another ritual in the public, and we have the police chief, and you have people from all the major government departments, and you also have the local district board members, district council members. So here I want to show you this is not just about religious activity, it's about local politics. So here that you can see who are the important people in Tai Hang or in Causeway Bay. So not just politicians, okay? So they also have beauty contest participants to come join the fire dragon. It was in, I think it's 2009. I forget 2009, 2010. Okay, so they have the Phoenix TV beauty contest participants to come, and the people who come to the festival, they like this. Okay, so actually that the reason for fire dragon dance is to parade their own community, and the incense sticks can last for about hour to hour 15 minutes, so that each piece of incense sticks finish burning in about an hour. But if you tell people that your fire dragon dance will be ended in just 45 minutes, people would not happy about it because they spend a whole time coming to Tai Hang and watch the fire dragon. So that the local community, they extend their fire dragon dance to another session. So in the middle, after they finish burning the first set of the incense sticks, and then they would burn another set and put it back onto the fire dragon. So if they finish the first set of incense sticks, they would distribute the incense sticks to all the audience, okay? And then people believe that if they bring the incense sticks home, they would have good luck. So this is how they interact with the audience. Okay, 10 minutes. Okay. So I said it before that the fire dragon will also parade the local community. So this is the main street where the people from outside come and watch the fire dragon. So when the fire dragon go to parade the local streets, people have nothing to see on the main street. So that they have this pipe band performance. Okay. So you can see this is not Chinese, this is not local. And you can see how the local organizers, they introduce the new elements to please the audience. Okay? They want them to come back next year to see the fire dragon. So it's interesting that why they spend a lot of money. Okay? Probably in each year that for this fire dragon dance, they spend about $500,000 for this activity. So they spend money, and they also want to have people to come to visit. Why? So this is a good question. So they also have women and children who held lanterns. Okay, so they call this wandang. Okay. So they have girls to participate in the ritual. in this parade. One thing I want to show you is here that for this fire dragon dance, you will not have women to participate in the fire dragon dance because people believe that it's also true in the Tai O Dragon Boat Parade. They believe that women are polluted. Is the local folk belief. So women are not supposed to participate in important religious activity. But in Tai Hang, they are pretty, smart. So they developed this lantern parade. So that means the lantern parade will be taken care of by the women and the children. So that you can see that there's a division of labor. So you have men to participate in the fire dragon dance, and then you have women and children to hold the lanterns. Okay. So of course that we have people from outside. So especially that in these years that digital cameras are pretty, inexpensive, affordable. So that it's become a major activity for us to visit those festivals. So that this Saturday, a lot of people will go to Changzhou and participate in these Ice Age events. The main reason is because they want to use their own digital cameras. Okay. So this is kind of a middle class phenomenon. So after 1997, before that, we did not have the question about our own identity. After 1997, that we asked who we are. Okay, we consider ourselves as a Hong Kong people. Okay, but we don't want to call ourselves Chinese. So and then people try to think about that anything that represents ourselves. This is not Chinese and is only Hong Kong. So you can see that all those four elements, the four Ice Age items, are pretty, related to our Hong Kong identity. Okay, so people find their identity in these Ice Age items or Ice Age activities. But when people participate in these activities, they need reasons to justify why they come to watch this activity. And then the local community would try to standardize their answers. They create standard answers for those visitors. So that's the reason I show you the standard stories explaining that why the Tai Hang organized that fire dragon dance. But for the native participants, actually they do not need any excuse to explain or reasons why they participate in the event. It's pretty simple and straightforward. This is the tradition in our community. I'm a member of the community, so I come and participate in the Dragon Boat Parade or the Fire Dragon Dance. No other reason, okay? If you go and ask them whether you believe in ghosts or you believe in those religious reasons, probably they cannot give you an answer. So what I want to point out is, when we see this is a religious activity, it has other reasons for the local community. It's not necessarily just religious. It can be cultural, it can be social, it can be related to their identity construction. So these are all, we just don't care about it, okay? So it's about community. So here that we are talking about conserving Ice Age items in Hong Kong, okay? But to me that is very important if we can maintain the item. The reason is because we have participants. We need to have participants to carry out the tradition. So it's important that not for us to maintain the festival. It's important for us to maintain the people. So that means people would want to stay or settle in that area, and they want to come out and participate in the ritual every year. So this is the way we can, preserve or conserve the Ice Age items in Hong Kong. So I just end it here. Thanks.
Yeah. Okay, well, thank you very much. That was really wonderful, and you kept wonderful time. So we have plenty of time for questions and answers. Please also, I want to remind you that my colleagues will be passing out feedback sheets, and so please, after the Q&A and before you leave, fill those out. Okay, now, who has some questions? Okay, I have one to break the ice. You said that that after they throw away the fire dragon, they put it in the ocean, and then they hire some fishermen to pick it up, and then they dispose of it. So, do they dispose of it in any sort of ritual way, or do they just kind of put it in the rubbish? Or I'm just wondering what happens next. I'm very curious.
No special ritual, okay? They just do it the way they like.
Okay. Do we have any other questions here? Okay, I've another one, and that is, I was wondering about, you said that before, the big person of the Dragon Boat Parade would be the person who contributed the most money, and it was often made through fishing. So now, where's the income coming from the big people in the Dragon Boat Parade, now that the fishing industry isn't so strong?
Yeah, this is a, excuse me, a very important question. Because in the past that the Dragon Boat Parade, actually that is closely related to the fishing business. So that the people who make money from fishing business would support the festival. And then the festival would, the deities would give them protection. So this was the way that in the past, until the 1970s. So that after 1970s, that the fishing business in Hong Kong began to go downhill. So, and a lot of the fishermen actually they quit their job and they moved to urban area to find jobs in the urban area. So that means they do not rely on the fishing economy for the local festival. So that means they have to change their rule of the game. So they cannot keep the same system in the past. So that's also the difficulty they face, is that when you have young people to move away and people who could not find money in the local community, they have to move away, then you need to develop a new system. But it's not just in Tai O, I think it's quite common in most part of Hong Kong, I mean, especially in the marginal areas. If you visit all the marginal areas in Hong Kong, you would find that most of these villages have no young people. Okay, you only have old people live, maybe just 1 or 2 dozen old people in those villages. So that they have to change the system. So now that in the Tai O, they rely on some of the old people, the old fishermen. Actually, they are not fishermen anymore. So they rely on their, I mean, what they call sang go gam, what the welfare money from the government. So, but they also rely on a couple deep sea fishing boats that who fish in the Taiwan Strait, Fujian, or the even up to the Korean border area. So they come back to support the festival.
Okay, great, thank you. We have a question over there.
Yeah, Professor Liu, how are you?
Okay.
I'm not a very cultural person, so I apologize if I asked the wrong question.
Yeah.
Now, we know that heritage change also over time.
Yes.
Our language changes. And these rituals might at some point serve the purpose, but that purpose perhaps are being served by other rituals.
Yes.
Now, what you have described, would you characterize them more as cultural appendix than heritage today? That it is an organ that once existed for a reason, but that these things are no longer functional as they once used to be. They are just there for historical reasons.
Yes. For example, like the 4 Ice Age items that I have just mentioned, that the Dragon Boat Parade, the Tai Hang Fire Dragon Dance, the Yulan Ghost Festival, and the Changzhou Ban Festival. I don't think that we would talk about these items here 30 years ago. Okay? 30 years ago, I think all the educated people or the intellectuals would define these 4 items feudal superstitious. Okay? So those are the activities carried out by those uneducated fishermen. But today, I'm here talking about these are 4 items on our national Ice Age list. Is our heritage. But actually, what I want to say, the form of those activities are more or less the same as what we saw 30 or 50 years ago. The form is the same, but the meaning is already changed. So today, that no one will say that this Saturday when you go to the Changzhou Ban Festival, you would not say that this is a feudal superstitious activity. Okay? So this is our important cultural tradition. Today, what we want to say. But I don't know what happened 20 years from today. Maybe people would change their mind about the meaning of these activities. But what I want to say is, I think we have to distinguish the form and the meaning. So that all the activities or this festival or objects, they have their form. Okay? So we can consider it as a symbol, but as a human being that we create meaning for those forms. And we are capable to change the meaning of those forms. And I don't know whether can be heritage or not heritage. I think it's up to the participants to define. I don't know whether I answer your questions or not. Okay.
Okay. There's a young man in red over here.
Professor Liu, I want to know, I saw some tourists and government officers also participate in this activity, and I want to know the members of the community, they are willing to share the identity and these rituals to the outsiders.
Good questions. So for these festivals, I think there are, we can consider there are many different types of participants. Okay, so for example, like when we talk about the fire dragon in Tai Hang, and actually that if you go to the festival, on the day of the festival, you talk to the people who participate in the parade, you will find out that most of the people are not living in Tai Hang. So maybe, I guess maybe only 15% of people live in Tai Hang. But many of the people actually that they live in Tai Hang maybe 10 or 15 years ago. The reason that they come back is because they want to find their friends that they had 10 or 15 years ago. So it's interesting that how Tai Hang is quite different from other cases in Hong Kong, because the other cases in Hong Kong are in a kind of rural context, and the Tai Hang case is an urban context. So you can see how Hong Kong, in a rapid changing environment, how a local festival or a traditional festival maintain a network and to attract people to come back during those festivals. But on the other hand, that you have those politicians and rich businessmen in a ritual. And if you go ask them whether they believe in those rituals, I don't know what kind of answer they will give you. Maybe they will say yes. But I think it's very important that in contemporary Hong Kong, if you go to run a local position, for example, like a district council member, you need ballots, you need votes, you need opportunities to show your face to the people of the community. So that's why you have those councillors show up in those public rituals. Okay? And they're different type of participants. Okay.
Okay, thank you. I think we have another question over here.
Yeah.
No, we
No.
still have a few, we've plenty of time for more
Well,
questions.
it's just a continuation of the trend. Tai Hang being the only urban location of these four ICH activities, and because it's been declared ICH, because it's becoming a huge tourism program, I think there's a lot of pressure to, well, a big downgrade of the cultural significance and more of a tourism activity. And because it's in an urban environment, I think it's has a lot more potential to be damaged, because I would expect that there's a lot of pressure to move it out of the back streets of Tai Hang and onto wider thoroughfares where more people can enjoy this intangible cultural heritage.
Victoria
and maybe
Park.
we can use fireworks and flashing lights on it instead. And will that, what do you think will be the long-term impact of that? And I fear it would have negative consequences for all the others as well.
Yeah, and we do have a tourist bureau as part of, in Hong Kong government. And actually that the people in that department works very hard, try to find items in Hong Kong that we can use to please and to attract tourists to Hong Kong. And I think we are keep on being told that tourist economy is very important to Hong Kong, okay? And we always remember Andy Lau's saying that 咁仲未夠嘅. But I think that tourists, actually, even we talk to the organizers of those ICH items, they also find that is a very important element. As I said before, that why the people will spend $500,000 on those activity and want to have people to come to visit them. I think that the reason is because people they do not feel safe. Okay, and they feel that they are being forgotten. When people come to watch their activity, they have that kind of feeling of empowerment. Okay, people like and to enjoy our tradition because they think our tradition is good and is important. So that give us a good feeling. But I think the tourist economy would contribute, for me, that I feel negatively to the maintenance of this kind of tradition. Because when you talk to the government, you say that, well, you can see that my ICH activity attract a lot of tourists, and please give us money to organize activity. So once people have money to organize activity, they can hire people to do it. Okay? So, but right now, because they don't have much money, so they need to rely on their network to find their support. But in that sense, actually, it strengthen the community network. Okay? And I think Hong Kong right now, I guess, I don't know what happened in the future. Up to this moment, I think we adopt a very different approach than what the Beijing government do. If you check the ICH list in China, a lot of those items on the list in China are related to performing arts. Okay, so that those things can be sold and can be used to attract the tourists. Okay. But I think that it's very important that for Hong Kong, that what approach that we should adopt. I think ICH to introduce a new way to recreate human relationship. So if we can make people to believe that this is our own tradition, and this is our ancestors' things that are left for us, and we should maintain it. And then we can use it to create our sense of community.
and prevent it from being the standard chartered fire dragon or the Li Ka-shing fire dragon.
Yes, yes.
Okay, I think we have time for maybe one or two more questions. Okay, here, well, the gentleman in brown and then the lady in blue.
Well, one of the most important things about Hong Kong was our experience as a British colony. That has a lasting effect on us. Like the fact that a lot of us speak English, like that we go to what is called the Cha Chan Tang and drink the Lai Cha and a lot many other things. Do you see these as these are definitely culture, but do you see this as heritage? And
I see.
is there any plan or possibility of preserving these? Okay.
Good questions. Actually, that we do receive a lot of inquiry about whether bolo bao or gai mei bao, those Hong Kong local style buns, are to be considered as Ice Age items. But one thing I want to point out, you mentioned about our colonial history. Okay, so the colonial history we have make us different from the Chinese across the China-Hong Kong border. And actually, there are a lot of traditions were stopped after 1949. Okay, and then many become revitalized after the 1980s. And it's interesting that Hong Kong was a colony, but we had the opportunity to carry on those traditions. And actually, there are a lot of traditions we have, you cannot find it in China. So this is another, interesting phenomenon that we have in Hong Kong. And about Cha Chan Teng, okay. When we talk about Ice Age intangible cultural heritage, if we define simply our culture into two domains, one is intangible, one is tangible. I want to tell you is the list can be unlimited. So everything that we can classify as intangible, and then we can add it onto the list. So we can add Cha Chan Teng, we can think of any of the items, okay? So it's difficult that I can tell you whether Cha Chan Teng is one of the items, should be one of the items on the list or not. But I think it's up to the people to decide. So why you want to pick Cha Chan Teng, but why I pick the Dragon Boat Parade? Because resource is unlimited. It's not unlimited, okay? And we need to pick the thing that we can spend time on it. We have resources for it, okay? But I think even we don't put Cha Chan Teng on the list, I don't think it would disappear in 10 years. But a lot of some other items, we call them endangered items, would be disappear. I think it's better for us to conserve those items first. I don't know whether I answered questions.
Okay, thank you. And then we have one last question over here.
Yeah, Professor Liu, the 4 items that you mentioned about the Hong Kong's heritage, I was wondering, one of them, is associated with Tai Hang. The other one happens in Changzhou. Okay, those have some sort of like regional or involve some locality. But then the other 2 that you mentioned, like the Yunnan Ghost Festival and also the Dragon Boat Festival, why are they not being practiced or not very popular in other parts of China, like even Taiwan and China? Because those kind of superstitions, those kind of ritual probably are observed by other Chinese as well. And could you make a guess on why they are not?
For example, like the Changzhou Bun Festival, actually that in Chinese is Taiping Qingjiu. okay, the Gel Festival. And actually, that Gel Festival is a very common festival in South China. So you will find it in Fujian, Guangdong, and Guangxi. But just don't know why that in 2009 the Hong Kong government picked the Bund Festival. Actually, that in many other parts of Hong Kong, they also carry out the same festival once every 7, 10, or 30 years. Okay. So I think you point out a very interesting, important point is what kind of activities or items we pick, whether you pick a very localized item or items that you can find it in a border region. Actually, that the 4 cases, 3 of the cases are pretty localized. Only the Yulan one is not localized. It's related, I think, to the process of the application. Actually, that I understand that the 3 cases, the Tai O Dragon Ball, the Tai Hang Fire Dragon, and the Changzhou Bund Festival, they were picked by the government officials. Of course, that they consult quite a number of academics before they make a decision. But the Yulan Festival was not recommended by the government. It was recommended actually that by a group of Chaozhou rich people in Hong Kong. Okay, and it's interesting that please keep it here. Those people that actually they do not really understand the festival, okay, but they feel that because they have a very strong sense of ethnicity, their ethnic identity, so they want to use it to consolidate their Chaozhou network. So the reason that why they pick Yulan as one of the elements that they want to submit it to the Beijing government. But interestingly, you say that the Qiuzhou Ghost Festival in Hong Kong is for the Qiuzhou people. But in the same 7th lunar month, if you go to Qiuzhou, you would not find the festival in Qiuzhou. So this is the festival only that the Qiuzhou people, after they moved to Hong Kong, and then they gradually develop the festival themselves. And then they use that to strengthen their ethnic identity. And maybe several more answers. And the Chaozhou Festival, Yulan Festival, is about ghosts, okay? And the 7th lunar month is the month for the ghosts, okay? So it's interesting that why we celebrate the ghosts, okay? So for us, then we will celebrate the festival, we celebrate the birthday of the god, but not for the ghosts. So you can see we have to go back to the history of Hong Kong history. So a lot of those Chaozhou people, they were immigrants. They moved to Hong Kong during the 50s, 60s, and 70s. When they came to Hong Kong, they had no money, they had no place to live. Okay? So a lot of those people are low-income labor workers. And I think a lot, they participate in trades. Okay? So that means they live in a very risky life. Okay? And they believe that the ghosts are very important. Actually, that we call it ghosts, the Cantonese speaker here, that, but for Chaozhou people, they call them good brothers, 好兄弟. Okay? And then you would find out, okay, if you organize a festival, all the timing are really occupied by the natives, I mean Cantonese speakers. They have the Tan Hao Festival in the 3rd lunar month, they have the Dragon Ball Festival in the 5th lunar month, they have their Mid-Autumn Festival in the 8th lunar month. So only the 7th lunar month is not being used by the local people. So they can make use of the 7th lunar month to do their celebration. But the 7th lunar month is not a good timing for festival celebration. You know why? Hong Kong is the place with strong typhoon during the 7th lunar month. My guess is the local people, they do not want to organize festivals in the 7th lunar month because once the typhoon comes, you waste your $200,000 on that temporary stage. You have to build another one. Okay? So you try to do your celebration at the end of the year when the typhoon is not coming.
Okay. All right. Well, thank you very much. That was really interesting. I didn't know that about the art
Thanks a lot.
festival.
Thanks.
So again, thanks very much. We're going to have a small Professor Sung of our library director will be presenting a token of our esteem.
All right.
And then,
Of the library and everyone in the audience, thank
yes,
you very much.
thank you so much.
It's a greeting card and also a tag. Okay. All right.
Okay. And please remember to fill out your feedback forms and leave them here so we'll be able to do this again. Again, thanks very much, Professor Leo.